day has finally arrived, the day we've all been waiting for, the opening night of Halloween Horror Nights. Welcome back to Eddytainment. My name's Eddie, and today we're bringing you guys along for the opening night of Halloween Horror Nights. We are super excited. Finally, the event that we've all been waiting for is opening tonight. A couple people got to enjoy it for the premium scare night yesterday, but we didn't get to do that. I heard that it was an amazing event and only like 3,000 people showed up, but that means maybe that's 3,000 people that won't be rushing in today to do the Stay and Scream. We're doing Stay and Scream, No Express, and seeing if we could survive the first night of Halloween Horror Nights. Let's get inside the park. Well, we're already here, but let's have some fun. Making our way in to go to the New York Stay and Scream, but at the store it looks like they've added this little like photo op on one side and merch display on the other. It's like a little glow in the dark. I didn't see this, I think like 2 days ago when I was in the store. It wasn't here, but just some of the Halloween Horror Nights merch. I just thought the display was super cool, but we got our plan, no express. We'll see if we could survive this. So we're making our way to our Stay and Scream, and we're just gonna check it out really quick, but it looks like we got this long old line that we have to get in. Yep, that is our Stay and Scream area, New York. All right, so we made it to the back of the line. It goes all the way to the entrance of the park, basically. And it's about to pour, so not a great start. It's looking like it's super long, and it's gonna be super busy, even though the day did not sell out today. All right, so we've made it in our Stay and Scream line. The plan is to start off with A Quiet Place and then move on from there in the New York area to all the neighboring houses. I didn't really do too much research to see which houses are here, but last year this was a good plan of attack. We were able to complete 3 houses within the first hour, so we're hoping, fingers crossed, that we're able to do the same. And we are in line for A Quiet Place, but it does look like Insidious crosses over us and goes right. They're already moving. The houses should be opening up at 5 o'clock, or 5:30 actually, so we got about like 20 minutes before we start making a move. And they're finally letting us back. It is 5:31. And I gotta say, I think the line we chose, A Quiet Place, is probably the worst one to jump in for your first one, but we'll get this line out the way. It'll be the longest one, and then hopefully the rest of them are a little bit shorter. All right, so we're about to make it in. It took about 30 minutes from when they started letting us into the house. Timestamp would be 6:03. So let's see how the rest of these houses play out. Woo! And first house down. And I gotta say, I really appreciate The Quiet Place. I have not watched the sequels, but still really enjoyed the scares and the puppetry. There's a lot of puppetry in that house, and that's always been something that I've enjoyed. Like back in the day when they had like American Werewolf in Paris here at Halloween Horror Nights, the puppetry really took it to a next level as far as the scares. Good start, and it only took us 30 minutes. Let's see how long the next house is gonna take us. We walked through, it was about a 10-minute walkthrough. And through Jimmy Fallon we head to go to Ghostbusters. That's going to be our second house. It currently has a 40-minute wait, so a little bit shorter than actually the displayed wait time for A Quiet Place. Let's see if it serves true. All right, so we're running and gunning, but the houses are now getting long waits. We got Triplets as well as Insidious at a 60-minute wait. So the plan is, if any of the houses are 40 or 50 minutes or above, we're going to skip them. And if all the houses become 50 or above, we're gonna take a break, get some food, watch some shows or something of that nature, or maybe just enjoy a walkthrough of the scare zones. But right now, I think Major Suites is below that mark, so let's make our way back there. All right, this scare zone is fairly intense. We got a body that's hooked and wide open. Let's see. Ooh, gruesome. All right, 35 minutes for Major Suites. Let's see if it lives up to it. If that's the case, that would be 3 houses within an hour and a half, maybe a little bit less. Not bad. I do remember about this particular queue is that last year, even though they said that it would be like a 60-minute wait, if you did express it was still 60 minutes. So they did a bad job of calculating the actual time for this house. 35 minutes? We'll see. Right. I think that was like maybe like 15 minutes. All right, so we stopped really quick at Richter's to grab ourselves a burger. This may end up being a flaw in our plan, but some of the houses are getting really long as far as waits. There's a few of them that are below 50 still, and I think we have enough time that we could eat and they'll still be below 50. Fingers crossed. We'll see. But that being said, we got through Ghostbusters, and if you are a fan of the movie, you're gonna love that house. Even not being that big of a fan of the movie, I thought the movie was okay. That house was spectacular. It's a real cool house to walk through, and the special effects that they use. I've always been a fan, I won't say too much, of houses that use weather, and this one uses it very well. We also did Major Suites. Major Suites was cool because it brings back the interactive buttons. So keep your eyes peeled. You'll see some red buttons throughout the whole entire house that you can press and they'll have a reaction, or a trigger. So super cool. And then, you know, since we're doing this without Express and trying to see if we can survive without Express, I thought it would be kind of important to talk about also the options that you can get. So if we don't survive today, the resolution to our problem, if you have a short amount of time here, obviously if you come multiple nights, you can just spread it out through multiple nights, but Express is obviously your first option, and then you have something that we'll be doing on Sunday, which is RIP, and then also you have the multi-night tickets with Express, which are now sold out. So you do have options if this is not your cup of tea. We haven't had to wait for more than 30 minutes, but I expect that as the night goes on, there's going to be a point in time where we probably are going to wait that full 15 minutes. That being said, let's check out the app and see if something is still under 45 minutes. A lot of the houses, like Monsters back here and Goblin's Feast, were 60 minutes, and it looks like they still are. Let's see if any of the other houses. So Monstruos is 45. Good. So that's one that we could potentially hit. Not one that I'm really anticipating is going to be all that great, but one that we could hit with our plan of attack. Triplets is 60. Insidious is 60. Ghostbusters is 45 if we wanted to do it over, but that would be a waste of time right now. And whoa, A Quiet Place is 80 minutes. Okay, so I think we'll get Monstruos out of the way with a 45-minute wait. And it looks like we're still at a 45-minute wait for Monstruos. We did this house in California. It wasn't our favorite. Let's see if the iteration here in Orlando is any different. All right, and we went from Major Suites to Major Fail. That house had a posted wait time of 45 minutes, and we waited how long, Moose?
An hour?
An hour. All right,
Not
so
too bad.
yeah, but it kind of breaks, not terrible, but it breaks the whole entire plan that we had. So we weren't going to wait in line for any houses above 50 minutes, and we wanted to see if we use this strategy and take a break in between, if we'd be able to complete all the houses. So far, we're on a good pace. We're 4 houses in, 6 houses left, and the event's going up till 2 a.m. And right now it is 9 o'clock on the dot, right? So far, Moose, 4 houses. What's been your favorite?
I would have to say A Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then artistic-wise, Ghostbusters, just because of, it reminds me of what I was telling you earlier about that boat house a couple of years ago, of just like how beautiful it is.
Yeah, they did a great job with Ghostbusters. I really did appreciate Ghostbusters. Right now we're sitting right in front of Ghostbusters. It has a posted 75-minute wait. I think right now there isn't a house that's below 50 minutes, so we're probably just gonna relax, walk around, enjoy some of the scare zones while we wait for some of the houses to die down. Typically the twilight hour, when it gets real late here at Halloween Horror Nights, you'll be able to complete multiple houses back to back very quickly, kind of like if you stayed in Scream like we did earlier. So cross your fingers that we get to complete all 10 houses today without the Express Pass, and we survive our first night of Halloween Horror Nights. All right, now we're gonna be able to do Torture Fair in the nighttime. Really get a nice experience here. Oh, and check out the tribute store. I didn't notice this during the daytime. There's like that little projection at the top. Oh, looks like we got here just in time to see the royal show.
My king and queen! Collectible screams soak these forsaken grounds in blood and bring
right, that show is kind of interesting. The king and queen, named by Sinister. Whoa, you okay, buddy? And it looks like we have Sinister herself. I believe that's her. One of the two icons of this year's event. Oh. And she's roaming through. And this guy is pretty cool. Our knight in shining armor of Halloween Horror Nights. The Torture Fair gives me that Major Sweets kind of ambiance feel, but with like a medieval twist. I like it a lot. I wish it had a little bit more actors though, and we failed to kind of give you a quick review of Monstruos. We did Monstruos in California, and it was far from my favorite house. And I gotta say, it's living up to the hype this year here too. It's far from my favorite house. It wasn't terrible, but I just don't have any connection with any of the monsters, the Latin monsters, and I'm Hispanic myself, so it's kind of weird. And here we go. Let's head on into Blumhouse. And Megan makes her return. Very popular last year, for whatever reason. But the Black Phone, that definitely was a great house when it was here. I'm enjoying this scare zone. I think Blumhouse has a nice lineup of houses, or properties in general, that Halloween Horror Nights could always tap into. This has always been a really good partnership. And this year with the Peacock Bar being gone, we got One to Hunt. The Fanta Bar, I believe, is what replaced it back here. Let's go check it out. Let's see what it's all about. So nothing crazy that would make this bar any more special than a typical Fanta bar along the event setup. But I do like the signs. The signs do have a nice, like, cool, like, ambiance to the event. And we sneak on over into Diagon Alley. The smoke and green lighting adds a nice ambiance, just like those Fanta signs. But we're supposed to see some Death Eaters. Last year, you were lucky if you saw one. And I think I've only seen one so far. That being said, this area is great for a nice, refreshing frozen butterbeer. So went ahead and grabbed ours, and we'll make our way through and see if maybe we either catch the Death Eater show or some more roaming Death Eaters throughout Diagon Alley. So over here is where they'll have their show. We've literally walked around all of Diagon Alley and seen one, and there's one again. I believe that's a Death Eater. Could just be somebody dressed up. Oh no, it's not a Death Eater. It's just somebody dressed up. Yeah, no, it's not a Death Eater. It's one of the employees here that shows people how to do the trick, or the spell. And it does look like everybody's coming towards the stage. The Death Eaters must be getting ready to come out, so let's see if we can capture some.
Boy who lives going to die.
That was really good.
Honestly, this year, still lame. I think if you're a Potter fan, maybe that'll be something that you find extremely cool. But for the most part, you see them all on stage together for a quick moment, then they all scatter, and you can walk around and you don't see them anywhere. It's interesting. They could do so much more with that area. And as we make our way towards Men in Black, it sounds like Nightmare Fuel is currently going. I may catch Nightmare Fuel one of these nights, probably when we do our RIP tour on Sunday. But aside from that, I just get too hot in that stage, and they got pyrotechnics on top of that. All right, we're coming up on another house. Ooh, 85-minute wait. With that express, that's just too much, I feel. That's Goblin's Feast, which I actually really want to do. And then Monsters is at a 60-minute wait. Just a little too much. All right, museum done. Not the best house. It was okay, but I'm not sure if it was HHM Bear, but there was definitely a bear inside of that house. So let me know if you guys are familiar if that's actually HHM Bear. But it had a posted 60-minute wait, and we only had to do 25 minutes, which was a welcome surprise, but also a little frustrating because the other house was 45 minutes. We waited over an hour. This one was an hour. We waited only 25. Kind of balancing things out, but it makes it hard for us to strategize which house we'll do next. But I think we're going to try Goblin's Feast. And this is interesting. So no defined lines for two houses that are coming this way, and also both houses seem to exit this way as well, so you can see the people exiting on the left-hand side. I wonder when they start with the actual line for both of these houses. Yeah, this is definitely a weird setup here, but we got another 60-minute posted wait time. Let's see if we're lucky twice. All right, and we're jumping right on over to Monsters Eternal Bloodlines. Goblin's Feast, super fun house. Not crazy scary, but super fun house, and the set design is amazing. I gotta say, I really like what they've done with the new tent houses. Compared to the tent houses of last year, the way that they've managed the lines is a much more reasonable way of doing it. You don't have that walk back and walk forward, or having to repeat the same walk multiple times just to complete two houses. They're right next to each other, so you might as well complete both of them. And the walk back to the next one basically begins shortly after the end of one. So it's a much welcome change on how those tent houses are managed. I do got to say the times that they are putting up are deceiving. For the most part tonight, all the times were actually shorter than what they had posted. There was one house that was significantly longer, said 45 minutes. It ended up being about an hour and 10 minutes. But the majority of the houses were actually a lot shorter. So I don't think we waited more than an hour for any particular house, and the majority of them were under 45 minutes, which is awesome. But we weren't able to complete them all. So from a perspective of whether or not we were able to survive today, we weren't. But not because it's not possible. Coming to the event and doing all the houses without Express is completely doable. But in my case, I have decided to go ahead and head back to the hotel, take a shower, start editing, get some rest, because tomorrow in the morning we have an Unmasking the Horror Tour at 8 a.m. and I want to make sure that I don't miss it. I'm super excited for that, to bring you guys along for that as well. We will be able to complete all the 10 houses. We have RIP on Sunday, which guarantees that we will complete all 10 houses. The event is actually a great event this year. You can notice some of the budgetary approaches, and at the end of the day, the creative team made the most of it with what they had, and I had a great time. We still have a couple houses to finish off. Insidious is one that I'm looking forward to. We probably will complete that tomorrow. We are here for three nights at Halloween Horror Nights, the first 3 opening nights, and then RIP the final day. So RIP will guarantee that we will get to do all the houses in the most convenient way possible on Sunday. Between today and tomorrow, I'm just gonna go ahead and move around the park and get the houses done that I want to get done, but I'm not going to push myself too much, because if you have multiple days, it really isn't necessary to push yourself unless you have Express. If you have Express, get all the houses done. You paid for it, and it's well worth it. I'll tell you that much. It's well worth it. We would have gotten through all the houses easily today. It's doable without it, but easily with that Express. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed coming along for the opening night of Halloween Horror Nights here with me. I enjoyed bringing you guys along. But up till the next one, don't forget to ask yourself, have you been entertained?